This is a Red Dog Fred production.
And now, your number one rated show, The Mike Weatherford Show. Here's your host, Mike Weatherford.
Hey, welcome back to the Mike Weatherford Show. I'm your host, Mike Weatherford. Did you get your mail out from the property assessor here? Yeah, we all got them. Did you have a little sticker shock? Did you wonder just what the hell is going on like I did and everybody else? Well, tonight, I've got a guest in here. I got a couple of guests that's going to tell us exactly what all this means. It's going to be where the rubber meets the road. I've got Henry County Property Assessor Scott Morrison. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Thank you, Mike.
And I got Henry County Commissioner David Bubba Flyer. Welcome to the show, David.
Hey, Mike. Thanks a lot. I appreciate the invite.
How
Glad
you
to
doing?
be back.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. A lot better than Scott. I hope he's still going to stay in his job for a little longer after what he's going through right now.
Well, he ain't skinned up too bad, I don't think, when he come in. Scott, what say you about this state evaluation that just hit us, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, so we've been where this is going into our third week. They came out May the 9th. So, yeah, this is our 5-year reappraisal, and we talked about it back in February.
That's right. You was on the show then.
I don't know how good of a job we did because
We told them.
we didn't impress upon them very much because they still acted like they were surprised. And I understand the sticker shock, when you open it up and you see that.
Yeah.
But we've got to tell the whole story.
That's right.
So everybody knows what's going on.
Now, that means that what happened, correct me where I'm wrong, state of Tennessee every 5 years, they say we're going to go through every county in Tennessee and reevaluate their property. Correct?
So yes,
And
partially. We're on split schedule. So there were 6 counties in West Tennessee.
Yeah, every county don't get it. Yeah, there's too big.
Right.
95
but
counties.
You're on 4, 5, and 6 year cycles, and Henry County is on a 5-year.
Right. And what happened was all these sellers got to getting happy because they realized that their house was worth a lot more money than they thought, because you had these out-of-towners in California, New York, Illinois, selling them houses up there for $800,000-900,000, come down to little Paris, Tennessee, and seen a house that you and I, Bubba, we probably thought was worth a couple $100,000, and they said that thing's worth $400,000 because where I come from.
Yeah.
So they started buying these houses up, correct?
That's right.
And these sellers was all happy.
Everybody was happy.
Everybody was happy. It was going right along. But what that did is that laid the groundwork for the state to come through and say, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch-style house in Paris, Tennessee, just doubled in value because of.
So everything that's done, what everybody needs to realize, what's done is we use sales comps. They pulled the sales comps. Mm-hmm. The market sets itself. We don't set the market. The buyers and the sellers set the market.
Buyers this time.
The sellers were happy to give. They agreed upon the price. You got to have 2 parties involved to make it happen.
Can I say this? My house, and Bubba, I want you to get into the real estate friends of mine. They'd call me, hey, you want to sell your house? I got somebody looking for just what you've got. Now's the time to sell it, Mike. You can really make some money. I said, but I got to replace it.
That's right.
So if I sold my house for $700,000, I'd have to replace it with $700,000. If I sold my house for $100,000, I'd have to replace $100,000. Well, to me, I'm not making anything. You know what I'm saying?
You're not. You're going to turn right back around and invest that money in a comparable house.
That's right. So you're not making anything. So what happened was I don't think it's greed. I'm not going to use that word, but everybody, it's like farmland went through that a few years ago. It had nothing to do with assessing. It's just farmland got high because you had farmers that had 2,000 or 3,000 acres they owned, and they had enough buying power to buy more farmland, and it got in a little bidding contest, and it shot that up too high.
All right.
And it's kind of leveling off a little bit now, I believe. Y'all can tell me better. I think it is. But we already got ourselves in a pickle in Henry County.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that it's across the state. It's not just Henry County.
That's right. It ain't.
In fact, our values are still much lower than a lot of other counties. Mm-hmm. But that increase, that percentage of increase has been across each county in Tennessee. That percentage is, I did bring those numbers with me, what our average increases were.
What was it?
So a breakdown here, industrial, 59%. 48% in commercial. Residential was 75%. That took the
And most of that happened since COVID.
correct. Yeah,
22,
You're
like
looking at
23.
You're looking at end of 21, going into 22. Started, by mid 22, things were really ramping up.
Yeah, I think that's when all these prices. And I had real estate friends telling me that there was bidding wars. You put a house on the market for $200,000, Bubba, and you get an offer at $190,000. Well, another real estate calls, hey, I've got a guy wanting this out. We've got an offer at $190,000. Well, they come back and say, my guy, I'll give you $200,000. The first guy said, I'll give you $210,000. Before you know it, the house was bringing more than asking value.
Right.
Explain to me exactly what happened, Scott.
So
you got a lot of papers in front of you. I'm going to listen.
I'll finish these out. So our farmland, now farm is anything outside of Greenbelt properties. Those went up almost 81% average. 47% on Agricultural. Agricultural is Greenbelt properties. I think most people don't understand what Greenbelt program is, but that is to help farmers that have agricultural purpose properties. It's intended to help them out. So it was capped a little bit, so that's why that number is lower. Then our forest land went up 48% as well on average. And those are just the averages. So, there were some large increases in these categories. We are right in line with the other counties as far as our average, what's happened to that. One thing here, I don't know if we got time to go through these.
We got a lot of time.
The headlines here, I just did a 5-minute search, and this is what come up. I think Kevin may have these to put up for us.
Put your slides up, Kevin. There you go. There's one.
This first one, all right. So this right here, this came off of this one came off the PI. This is the article that I talked to the PI about here. They published this on May the 8th before our notices went out. This was on the front page. This was just to try to let everybody know, hey, these notices are coming out. One of the things I highlighted here, increase in your appraised value does not necessarily mean your property tax bill is going up. Okay, that's very important to understand.
Sure.
We'll dig into that a little bit later. Property appraisals result in hundreds of calls to the assessor of property. This was in Benton County. We had Ryan Hall and I were on here back in February. They threatened to burn Ryan's house down and lynch him. Thankfully, Henry Countyans are a little easier going than that. They didn't threaten me with that.
So far.
Yeah, so far.
That's right. The day ain't over.
That's true. The next one here, county has received property reappraisal notices. Okay, this was out of Carroll County. Carroll County is going through theirs. Many owners may be alarmed at the rate of increase on the appraisal value. Again, they're having the same thing going on over there. I just had a guy come in. He's got a property here. He came in. He said, "I understand what's happening." He said, my house is in Carroll County. He's got a commercial property here." Wasn't upset. Actually, just wanted to know about our tax rate. What I could tell him about that. It's a big jump. The next one here. It's a big jump. People in Roane County hit with sticker shock as new property value appraisals roll out. Property value may more than double. So that's in Roane County.
Statewide.
It's statewide.
I'm going to bring up something to you right here. I've got a piece of property, and I talked to you earlier before we come on the air. I've got a hunting farm in Henry. And last year, on my farm is broke down into different sections. You and I talked off the show about I ought to combine it because it does make explain that when I get done here. But I had a 19-acre spot of ground, Bubba. You listening?
I'm listening.
Last year they valued this and it's swampland of my hunting farm. The bottom corner we call it the swamp, and it was $44,000 for 19 acres last year. This year I just got this notice right here. It went from $44,300 to $258,500. What percent jump is that?
That's quite a bit.
That's about a 400.
Dave, you going to figure that?
I can.
From $44,300 to $258,500. That's on 20 acres. Because my farm is broke down into sections. As I was buying it, I was putting it together to make a hunting farm. It's nothing to do with you. I showed you this earlier.
Right.
And we're going to explain what we can do to do that. That's about, what percent is that, Bubba?
75%.
75%. That's more than 75%, ain't it? From $44,000 to $258,000? Yeah, that's more than that. 100% would be $88,000.
I got my numbers backwards. Give me those numbers again.
Okay, it went from $44,300 to $258,500.
Oh, that's like 500%.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
need a calculator.
There you go. It went up a lot. Now, that happens, Scott.
Right. Well,
And there's reasons that happens. Because since I've not put my farm into one track, I still leave it in the broken track because I bought a little bit from Jimmy Tosh, and I bought one from this guy, and I bought one from that guy, kind of putting it together over the years. There's still 75 acres, 80 acres, 19 acres in this particular case, and 25, 30, 40. They're broken in smaller track. But the rest of them didn't jump at that kind of a value.
Right. And that's something we'll have to look at.
Yeah,
There are,
yeah.
when you're doing mass appraisal, there are always situations you get into
It's a
where
flyer sale.
there may be something wrong with that. There may be it may have been conditioned for something.
Yeah.
You told me part of it was wet.
Yep.
So it may have been conditioned down. When the state went in and reworked these, they may not have put that condition back on. That may be part of the problem.
They didn't go out and look neither.
Well, no.
That was all done off the comps.
The state does not go out and look at anything. They sit in their office in Jackson, and they do nothing. And that's something that I've got to remind everybody too.
Yeah.
Let's back up and go in. Last year, I was on here when I was running.
Yeah.
Robert Abbott and I sit there, and we told everybody
It was coming.
this was coming. It didn't matter which one of us was voted into office. This was already happening before we were out campaigning. This was happening. So we knew that this was coming. It didn't matter who took the office, which Robert still works for me. He's having to deal with it just like I am. We're fielding those phone calls every day.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things. I wasn't in office during the review cycle. We have 4 years of review cycle that we go out and look at every parcel, try to make sure everything's up to date on the property card. So I wasn't around for that. I came in the last after the last year where they put everything
You
on
called
together.
hell.
I was there long enough to get my name on that notice, and it's my fault. And I understand that.
Yeah.
I understood when
The
I ran
reason
for
why I
office.
brung that up is not to complain. I didn't get to finish it, but that's what the property assessor does. If you got something like this that you think is out of whack, come down there and talk to you.
That's the most important thing.
That's what I'm trying. That's why I brung.
How do they do that?
Yeah.
How do they?
Well, they can come to the office, or they can call in. Either
Make
one.
an appointment?
You can call in if we're free. We'll try to talk to you right then.
The reason why I brung that up, I didn't get to finish it, was not to jump on you for that, because I know you had nothing to do with that. But as a property assessor, that's what your job details. If you get one of these that you went from $44,300 to $258,500, call him. Get an appointment, go down there and sit down and let him explain it. It could be a problem. It could be something that's wrong. Or it could, I don't think it went up that much, but there's something that caused that. And my point was, Scott, I want to finish it before I forgot, was not to make you look bad, but to explain that's what your job is. You, like my daddy used to say, I don't get to drive the train. I don't get to toot the horn. I don't get to wave at the kid, but let the train jump track and see who catches hell.
Yeah.
That's kind of where you're at, right?
That's right. That's
And
where
that's
we're
what
at.
He didn't make this mess, but yet if there's a problem like that, that's something to raise an eyebrow. Would you agree?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come and talk to him.
And Mike, I think it's very important for everybody to remember this is state law.
Right.
We didn't just decide to do this.
Right.
The state mandates that we do this on a regular basis, and Henry County shows every 5 years.
Yeah, that's true, and that's what I've told a lot of people. They explain to me they don't like the process, and that's understandable. I don't know that I love it. I don't like taxes either. But bottom line, if somebody's concerned about the process, the only way we can change that is through a constitutional amendment.
Right.
So that's a Tandy Darby, a Jay Reedy, and a John Stevens conversation that you need to have with them. Have it with our reps.
Gustav too. Yep.
Yeah.
But the only other option we have is Bubba. This is in your avenue. You take the money that he assesses, and then Randy French takes the money in, gives it to the county. We're talking about property tax. Now, there's a city part that theirs go up, because I didn't look at my city part. Is that?
Well, the city will have to do that. They have the same process for the tax rate as the county does. They will have to, if they choose not to take the certified tax rate, they'll have to have a public hearing and have a vote.
Right.
But the city uses the same appraised and assessed values that the county
Yes.
Right.
does.
So
That's correct.
if you live in a city, you'll have a city tax and you'll have a county tax, because your house is in the city of Paris and the city of Paris is in the county of Henry. Now, what happens when you get the money, leaves Randy's office, and it comes to the county? What all are we funding with this money?
Okay, the major things, there's about 4 major things. Fire protection in the city, of course. Police protection. Schools is the big part of our budget. It's some $45 million last year.
Really?
$45 million. And, did I say police protection?
Yep.
I did. Highways, that's the other big one. Highways last year,
you got
$8.4 million in our highway department.
So you've got the highway department out here is budgeted through these, gets their money through these property
taxes.
Your school, Henry County schools, get their money through the property taxes. Correct?
They don't get all of it. As a matter of fact, they don't even give a major portion of it.
Really?
Last year, it was $5.3 million out of a $45 million budget. The state of Tennessee funded $25 million for Henry County schools last year.
Where did the rest of it come from?
There's various different places,
Okay.
but there's federal money that comes. Yeah.
Okay, and then we've got the sheriff's department.
Sheriff's Department and the jail.
Right. There's 2 separate indemnities, right?
Two separate budgets there.
Right. So last year, if I'm not mistaken, Henry County took in about how much money did we take?
I never could find that number.
I think it's around $13 million, but that don't sound right.
I don't think that's right. I think it's more than that.
I think it is too.
It is. Yeah, it's more than that. I don't have the number.
But that's not what he does. But what I'm trying to do, that's why I had him come on too, Scott, is tell everybody what your property taxes are spent on. Once you pay that, and then there's another part to this, Scott. There's the assessment value, what they charge you. What is it set at right now? Before this come in, it was $1.93.
So you're talking about the preliminary certified tax rate.
Right.
Okay, so what we're talking about is last year the Henry County had a tax rate of 1.9333. So this is a tax revenue neutral event for Henry County. Okay? Unless the county commission votes to override the certified tax rate law is there to prevent a windfall of money to the county due to property values going up during reappraisal. So to bring in the same amount of money as we did last year, they calculate what the new values are, taking out new construction. They pull out new construction. It's not counted because it wasn't on the tax rolls last year. They pull that out. They calculate that rate. That rate has gone from 1.9333 down to a preliminary of 1.1975.
So what that
now? I say that as a preliminary.
I understand
because it can adjust slightly based as if we have to adjust values during this process.
So what that means is if your house value, it's kind of going to be a wash. So there are certain areas you might pay a little more. Property taxes.
Here's the best way I can describe it, Mike, is it's a tax neutral event for Henry County.
Right.
It is a tax shift amongst the property owners. There's some realignment there because you have, as we talked here, residential went up 75%. Our overall went up 66% on average, but residential went up 75%, okay? There are also some areas of the county that went up more than others, okay? If you're on the east side of the county and you're the lake, I mean, you're in that area, obviously those went up more probably than what Cottage Grove did.
That's
okay?
right.
That is just the nature of the beast.
Because of the sales comps
that's
that
right,
have happened in
because
the
the
lake
sales
area.
comps that were happening.
Yeah,
I mean,
we don't sell God's country. Go ahead.
That's right. So
Hico, you didn't say Hico.
I didn't say Hico.
That's
That's
where
right.
I'm from. Okay.
Central Point, I don't think we don't sell out there.
We don't sell out there either.
Yeah. So, some people are going to pay more. Some people are going to pay less.
Right.
That's the way this is working
But
out.
I don't think, what I'm trying to get the point at, I don't think people's going to have, let's just use an easy number, $1,000 taxes last year. It's not going to go up 65% this year.
Well,
if you're paying $1,000, I'm going to step out. You can't say neither one of y'all because you don't know, but I'm going to say, but my numbers, what I'm figuring, and I'm not real smart. Y'all both know that. I think that you might pay $50, $75 more a year, $100 the most on average. Would you agree?
It just depends on how much your property went
That's
up.
right. Depends on where you're at. Now, I'll give you some quick examples I figured here.
Yeah.
So last year, if you had a house that was $150,000, okay, Our 5-year reappraisal cycle, the sales comps that were used last time were from 2019, okay?
Right.
So let's think about 2019,
before
where the real
COVID,
estate market was, versus 2024, where we are today. You think about just inflation, the cost of construction, and our real estate market. We've talked about what it's done. So that taking that into account. So if you went up a 60% increase at $240,000 now, on that 2024 at the 19333, you'd have paid $725 in county tax.
Gotcha.
Now on the preliminary, you would pay $718 at 60%. You're actually going down at 60%. But the county as a whole was at 66%.
Right.
All right. You move up to 75%. You're at $262.5 is your new property value.
Right.
At that preliminary rate, you'd pay $786.
What was it last time?
$725.
That's what I'm saying.
You've had an increase.
I'm right in that area. I said, $50 to $100.
If you had a 100% increase, if you're at $300,000 now, on the preliminary rate, you'd pay $898 a year on the preliminary rate, and you were at $725 before. So that's a 100% increase. That it's people get upset when they look at that value.
That's
I understand.
Right. I understand that, but when they bring that tax rate down, and I've even tried to help in my shop. I'm one of the. You come in there, Bubba. You see everybody in there. In my old shop, I'm the old school where you can go like the old barber shops, and they'll walk in, they'll sit down. Mike, did you get your thing in the mail? Yeah, I got it. Did that piss you off? I said, well, not really. Not if I'm a seller. If I want to sell it, I'm kind of happy. Damn, I can't pay them taxes. I said, well, do you understand that? And I hate to say this, but most people just don't understand. The 119 is dropping from 193, and I did my math. I wasn't far off what he just said. $100, $150 on the average house. Now, if you live in $1 million house, you're going to pay more property taxes.
Right.
I don't give a shit who you are. If you're going to pay more. But you're not going to pay tremendous amounts more. But the average working man that gets out like me and you every day and goes to work, we may pay a little less, but I figured the max is going to be $150 a year for the average person who I consider myself to be. And I hope I'm not far off.
Well, I certainly hope you're not. But I like I say, I can't put it because it's all about where you're at in the county and what your place looks like.
But the average working man is not at the lake. Where all them rich houses are.
That's
Them are retired folks. Them are people moving in from out of town. That's where all the money's at down there. But the working man, we don't live down at the lake. We might live at the lake, but we don't live at the lake. You understand? We might live around it. I live in Hico out there. That's where we live. That's where when Jesus comes back, he's coming to Hico. Then he'll swing by out there by what's the name of that church for you?
Central Point.
Central Point. I used to live right behind it. Remember that? I used to live back there.
No, I didn't know that.
I used to Matheny's.
Oh, yeah. Matheny Lane right there.
That's right. I used to live on the very end of that.
Yep.
J.D. Matheny. When I first got married, that's one of the first places I lived at when I got back on the end of that. I used to help them on their farm down there.
Mike, let me make a comment about this tax rate. $1.93 is $1.93 per 100 assessed value. Mm-hmm. Another way to think about that per 100 is some old archaic language.
Yeah.
$1.93 on the tax rate is 1.93% of your assessed value.
Right.
So with $1.19 or rounded up to $1.20, that's 1.19% of your property assessed value.
Or it's $1,120 for $100,000.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, nobody ever expresses that in a percentage,
no.
And I don't know why they don't.
Yeah,
but it's easier for me to understand percentages being an
old
banker.
That's the way I
understand.
I
do it the same way, but I use it off the 100,000 because I know a house is not going to be $1. I look at it per 100,000. The old tax rate with $1.93 was $1,930 for $100,000. Am I right? Now, what's this right here? How to calculate your tax bill.
So this information is straight off the Tennessee Comptroller site.
Before we get started, something I have said and argued, and you're going to have to explain this to me. I said that the appraised value for each taxable property in a county is determined by the county property assessor. I've been saying that was done by the state.
Right.
Explain what that first sentence means. It makes me look like I didn't lie to all these people.
That has been a sticking point with a lot of people. They said you did this.
Yeah.
So we do those. The property assessor does it with the assistance of the state office. Okay. the size of our county, the size of your county depends on how much assistance you get. We don't have enough people on staff to be working, and especially the situation we came into. I think last time I was here, I explained to you, our previous assessor went home in April. We had one out with cancer that could not come back to work. And we also had another one that retired. Our previous assessor's, another employee of his, she had retired as well. So we didn't have a full staff. At one point, back in May and June of last year, they had 4 people in there and supposed to have 7.
Oh, Lord.
We only have 5 right now because we haven't been able to train anybody because all we've been busy doing is trying to get this reappraisal finalized. So that being said, that goes back to, if I'd have been in office for 4 years and everything would have been fully staffed, could we have done a better job? I don't know. I haven't been in office, so I don't know.
Say.
But I do know this. I think next time I've already learned enough. We can do a little more as long as we're fully staffed. We can take more workload on.
So the county was assisted by the state.
The state did, yes. The state did the majority of the work on
so
this.
So y'all didn't do no appraisal?
No. I mean, we during the 4-year cycle, they were out reviewing. They were supposed to be out reviewing properties.
And it wasn't?
I don't know. I wasn't there, so that's all I can say is I do not know.
So what you're trying to say I understand what you're saying. I'm not putting words in your mouth, but you're saying that if we had been keeping up to date in the last 4 years, it might not have been such a big jump.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I'll be honest with you. More of what I found is probably people. It's in the property owner's favor that the information. If there is information wrong, most of the time it's going to be. Most of the time it's going to be in their favor because we go out and we find stuff that hasn't been picked up.
That's what I'm saying.
Because we've had a lot of people call, and we're more than welcome to try to do what we can for you. But if we find things that aren't up to date, I have to. It's by law. I have to pick it up.
But my question was, if they had been going out driving around assessing this, and the values was up, it wouldn't have been as big a jump. It couldn't have been.
Well, I
don't
know.
What I'm saying?
That's partially true.
Yeah.
Because but you got to realize we're still
kind of like a car.
We're still but we're still going off of what's on that property.
Yeah.
The
county, now the state, the state didn't. They just kind of comped it.
Well, they use the sales comps.
Yeah,
that's
what they did. They didn't go out.
They take the market. They take the market.
Yeah.
It's mass appraisal. So mass appraisal is not.
Somebody asked a question: if the housing market collapses next couple of years, will property taxes go down? Well, it'll take to the next appraisals for it to show up.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But what we've got to look at is we've escaped about 3 years of values being up.
Yeah.
So we've already escaped 3 years of it.
Yeah.
But that's the system we're on. So that's where you're at. It's that 5-year holding pattern.
Put that back up on the screen, Kevin. That last graph. I want to explain that to me. Go ahead with it now, Scott.
Okay. So your assessment ratio, the assessment ratio is if you have residential or you have farmland, it's calculated at 25% of the appraised value, commercial, industrial at 40% of the appraised value. Then your assessed value, you calculate that by multiplying the appraised value by the assessment ratio. So this example here, $400,000 at 25%, it's $100,000 is your assessed value. So the tax rate, which will be set by the county, I don't know, you guys will probably vote on it. It wasn't July.
Probably July. Last year it was July.
They should have the certified tax rate ready by then. At that time, they can vote to accept it, or if they decide that they need to raise it, they can do that. But you take that $400,000 times the 25%, get you $100,000, and then if the commission set the rate at 1.1975 per $100 of the assessed value, you just simply divide the assessed value, 100,000 by 100, then multiply the rate at 1.1975. It's going to get you $1,198 right there.
But that is cheaper than it was at $193. You'd pay $1,930 at the old rate.
Well, at a lower value, though. At a lower value.
No, but we're not going by that. I'm going by this.
No, if the values were the same, that's correct.
If the math.
Yeah,
the math.
Well, sure, if the values
if
are
you
the
got
same.
Yeah. With this math right here.
But that's where that tax neutral, tax neutral.
Now, what are y'all going to
comes
do
in.
at the county?
Well, we don't know just yet. We haven't seen our budget yet. They're working on the budget.
But don't the state mandate you have to bring it down to this whatever
Yes,
the recommended?
It does mandate that we bring it down to the certified tax rate.
Which is 119.
$1.1975
Right.
projected.
Projected.
It could be a
That's
120.
But if we get our budget put together and we have to have more revenue, then we have to hold a public hearing. And if we hold a public hearing and the county commission votes to, we can raise that certified rate.
Well,
up to
now
what we need it
that
to be.
now that y'all county commissioners know that there's going to be more money coming in, are y'all going to find a damn place for it?
Well,
They usually do.
we usually
You know this windfall's out there.
we usually fight over it pretty hard.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. You know they know it's that y'all as a county commissioner know it's coming.
We know it's coming, but we also know that we've got to lower the tax rate down to the certified tax rate.
But for how long does that have to stay there?
Well, it has to just stay there for a minute or two until we decide we're going to accept that.
Well, how long is a minute or two?
And until we hold this public hearing and say we got to have 2 more cents on the tax rate to balance our budget. We are required to balance our budget. So we might, if we have to put 2 more cents on the tax, or 1 more cent, or 3 cents, then we'll hold these public hearings, and the public needs to understand, and they need to show up at these public hearings to be heard. It doesn't mean that we won't go ahead and do the tax increase, but we will hold a public hearing if that happens. And I don't know that happens. In the past, that has not happened.
Right. But what I'm saying, I got something in my eye. I'm sorry, guy.
I thought you was winking at me.
No, like a eyelash got in my eye. You ever do that? Yeah. God almighty, I may have to go blind here for this show, though. But what I'm saying is we know there's going to be a little windfall of money out there, possibility.
There won't be. That's not true, Mike.
Well, it's possibility of a windfall.
No, there's not.
Okay, let me rephrase my question to get it out there. What I'm saying is, it's 193 now. The state is projected to be 119 approximately. We know all this can change. Now, we're not driving nails in the coffin. We're talking about where we're going to put the nails.
Right.
So we know that there's room to go up. Y'all haven't wrote y'all's budget. Is y'all's budget with the county going to be wrote to where it ain't? Well, we can raise our tax rate a little bit. So let's raise this budget a little bit.
We will try our level best to keep it at that $1.19 rate.
Okay,
that's what we will try to do.
Well, you didn't know this was coming, so why not?
Well,
what are we going to spend this money on, Bubba? What's the county going to spend the money on?
Roads, schools, sheriff's deputies, the jail. The court administration itself costs about $2 million a year to administer our court system in Henry County. So there's a lot of other things.
Well, sure it is.
Yeah, we're just
it costs a lot to run.
It does.
This county. I do realize that.
We will make an effort.
But I got an eyelash in my eye that's killing me.
We will make an effort, and I like to say this is my first year on the county commission.
Right.
So this will be the first budget process I've gone through, but I've been around it all my entire career. So we will try to hold that down to the certified tax rate.
Right.
I'll just say that I'm glad that Bubba and the commissioners have to deal with that. Okay? and I have told everybody as we go through this, this rate can be changed if they decide to do so, but they will have to have the public hearing. And as he said, we've told all of them that it'll be, that'll be your public hearing. So,
and we'll probably have to hold it at Henry County High School's gymnasium.
I would say so. But but we got a lot of projects going on in Henry County. We'll talk about that a little later on. But we got to take a commercial break.
All right.
Would you believe it's already been halfway through the show?
Halfway through.
It's already been 30 minutes. Folks, we're going to put the number up. If you got a question that you want to ask Bubba, if you want to ask the Assessor Morrison, call in. Ask him a question. There's a phone number right there. We're going to take a commercial break. The lines won't be open until the commercial break comes back. But there's your number, 731-407-4098. Call in with any question. Now's the time to find out what you can do about the sticker shop. We're going to take a commercial break, pay the bills, and I'll get it out of my eye, and we'll be right back.
Charter Senior Living, located at 350 Volunteer Drive, is a premier community for seniors interested in pursuing life, energy, and purpose. We have restaurant-style dining, life enrichment programs, social activities, local scheduled transportation, and a beauty salon. We show respect to our veterans with a wall of honor. Our mission at Charter Senior Living is to enhance the human spirit. For more information about Charter Senior Living, call us at 731-644-9680.
Is your tank on empty? Come to 54 Fuel Mart, located at 1213 A Westwood Street, for the best prices on gas. What about your other tank? You know, the one that is growling? 54 Fuel Mart has you covered for that as well. Check out our fried chicken, wings, pizza, and many other items to satisfy your hunger. On Tuesdays and Fridays, you really need to check out the fried fish. We also have a selection of freeze-dried candies, along with an entire aisle of candy bars and other sweets. Is it raining, or do you just not want to get out of the car? We have a drive-up window for your convenience. We also have dyed diesel for use in your tractors and other farm equipment. We have parking for big rigs, and our business hours are 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Feeling lucky? Well, do you? We have scratch-offs, and you can try your hand and the TN Lottery while you're here. 54 Fuel Mart, located at the Westwood Y, Paris.
Chad Cox, PLLC, provides representation in the areas of criminal law, family law, personal injury, wills and probate law. Chad Cox serves Paris and the surrounding area. He does not believe in a one-size-fits-all approach to representing his clients. He reviews every detail of your case to ensure that you receive an assessment that is specific to the unique circumstances in your case. Chad Cox is located at 104 North Brewer Street, Paris, Tennessee. Contact us at 731-642-4446.
Is this a normal sight around your house in the winter? Then when the hot summer sun comes around, is this something you see quite regularly too? If so, AccuAir is your answer. AccuAir serves all surrounding counties with top-notch HVAC techs to get you in the comfort that you deserve. Call Nathan or one of the highly skilled techs from AccuAir. AccuAir also offers BPU-approved financing for all your HVAC replacements. AccuAir is your #1 choice for all your heating and cooling.
The Downtown Event Center is available for parties, meetings, or family get-togethers. The center comes with spacious seating and an area that will help make serving food easier. If you are having a birthday party, this is definitely the place for you. The Downtown Event Center is located at 107 South Brewer Street. Contact Jessica at 731-642-4992 to make your reservation.
Hey everyone, this is Jeremy Buckaloo reminding you to tune in to Sportscast with Jeremy Buckaloo live every Sunday night at 7:30 here from the Brewer Street Mafia Studios.
All right, folks, don't forget next week right here on the Mike Weatherford Show, that's Tuesday, June the 3rd, 7 p.m. Ask Me Anything. I got crime file updates with Burton Staggs. He's going to join me and come in the studio. He's going to give us a little bit of update on what's been going on, any developments in the Zach Adams case and potential for a new trial. Also, I'm going to get him to dive in a little bit on this Davis Swift case. What's going on with that? You know, everything about that and other breaking stories across Tennessee and the Southeast. Have a question for Burton? This is your chance. Just drop them live in the chat during the live show, or we may open the phone lines up. If you're a fan of true crime, local justice, or just watch an inside scoop the media doesn't always cover, you don't want to miss this show. That's right. Me and Burt Staggs are going to be talking about all the unsolved crime stuff going across Tennessee. We all know Burton. Like him or love him or hate him, it doesn't matter. He gets you the details of what's going on. So don't miss next week, Tuesday, June the 3rd, 7 p.m. right here on the Mike Weatherford Show. Don't forget Sportscast with Jeremy Buckaloo is coming up soon, Sunday, June the 1st. Devin, I couldn't say it. I'm down to one eye, folks. Devin Raymer from he's going to be in here with live with Jeremy. Now listen, folks, he's got his own Facebook page now. He was running on the Mike Weatherford Show for a while because Facebook had a little deal where he had to be 60 days before he could do his own show on his own page. So be sure and tune over, find Sportscast with Jeremy Bucklew, like him and follow him so you can find him every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. He's going to be doing his own deal, Sportscast Live with Jeremy Bucklew. For the next couple of weeks, we may simulcast him live here on the Mike Weatherford Show like we've been doing for a while till everybody understands he's over on his own page now, Sportscast Live with Jeremy Bucklew, 7:30 every Sunday. Don't miss it. And don't forget the Tennessee Informer, the Warrior Defense Project, Beyond the Call of Duty to Fight for Military Justice. Special guest Professor Jeffrey Adicott, the St. Mary University in Texas, will be live talking with him. What if the real battle begins after the battlefield? Tune in to the Tennessee Informer with Dave Vance as he talks about all the happenings going on there. Don't miss it. That's a good show. Check him out. And Junior Staggs and Friends Live coming up, episode 3. John Langford and Jason Ray will be at downtown Puryear in the Pavilion. Unless it's raining, they're going to move it over into the convention center. Free admission. Just bring you a cheer. Hey, don't say there's nothing to do around Henry County. There's always something going on at Puryear. Don't forget, Junior Staggs and Friends Live, episode 3 with special guests John Langford and Jeremy Ray. Some of the best music you ever heard in your life. Tune in, be there, and enjoy yourself. Don't forget Simulcast Live. We're both on Facebook and YouTube. We're on all the platforms now. If you can't find us on Facebook, find us on YouTube, find us on Spotify. We're everywhere. Wherever you look, you'll see me. Hey, appreciate you tuning in. Hey, if you haven't done it yet, take a second, go to all these platforms. The little button up in the corner says subscribe or follow. Click it, boom. And that way, we can grow the show. All right, folks, we're sitting here talking with Scott Morrison. He is our Henry County Property Assessor and one of our county commissioners, David Flowers. And I ain't been winging at you, David. I think I got it out of my eye. I think the eyelash got in my eye. But anyway, I've been sitting there talking to him about our property taxes. What happened? Did it really go up? And what's it mean for you when you go to pay your tax bill? So, Scott, you've been fighting this now for, 3 weeks now? You think the flames are kind of coming down to people's understanding?
I believe so, Mike. We've done a very good job. Most of the people, after they come in and they talk to us, most of them leave satisfied.
Right.
Occasionally there are mistakes in mass appraisal, and we'll be glad to take a look at it. That's what we're there for. And one thing that we haven't jumped into, and I want to tell everybody, the great thing about the process is you don't have to take the assessor as not the final say. I don't have the final say in this. If they want to go before the County Board of Equalization, they can do so.
What is that?
So the County Board of Equalization is a board that is appointed by the mayor, the county commission, independent board. So they will take these up. If you want to go before them, they'll start meeting on June the 2nd. So they will meet. You can call my office. We can schedule you if if we haven't been able to satisfy you. You want to go before the board. Now, what I would tell everyone is when you go before the board, the way they look at this is you have to prove your case. The work's been done. The sales comps are there. So if you have something detrimental to your property, bring it before them, show it, bring pictures, have some kind of proof. Don't walk in empty-handed. If you walk in and say, I don't agree with my value, that's not going to fly. They won't, they probably aren't going to listen to you if you don't have something to back it up. But if you have a recent appraisal, if you have something out there that's showing what you think the value, a true, better market value is, they'll be glad to entertain that and look at the evidence and see if they can do something for you. So that's a good thing is everybody can be mad at me, but they don't have to. I don't have to have the final say in it.
Right.
And if they don't like what they get at the Board of Equalization on the local level, they can appeal it to the State Board of Equalization, can't they?
Yes, they can. Yeah.
So I don't know that would ever do any good, but the process is there for an appeal.
Yeah. Somebody asked about seniors on a fixed income. How is this going to affect them?
Well, it depends on the property type that you have. I mean, we've gone through the examples here, so that's hard to say. I mean, a lot of the seniors that have called and been concerned, we've kind of figured it, and a lot of them are going down. It's all dependent on the property, on what type of property they have. Now, the trustee's office does administer tax relief programs.
Right.
So that would be something that I would encourage. I encourage everybody to go talk to the trustee. They know that program inside out.
Right.
So that's the person you need to talk to on that.
Right.
So we have had some people come in. We've taken them over to the trustee's office and let them explain it to it because they know that problem.
Right.
They know that process.
We got the phone line up. 731-407-4098. If you got a question for Scott or you got a question for David, call in. Now's the time to do it. Just pick up the phone, call in, and they'll talk to you and tell you answer your question. I mean, that's all you got to do. Y'all guys are open for questions. I mean, that's what we need. Don't wait till the last minute. Call right now and ask. So, Bubba, so you think that when it gets to the county commissioner, there's a possibility that it will y'all will take the rate that they tell y'all.
That's not only a possibility, that's the probability.
Okay.
We probably will do that unless there's some circumstances that we just can't balance our budget.
Right.
But we will try our best to keep it at that certified tax rate.
Right. So what would make the budget go up to where you couldn't? Is there any foreseeable future? What's going on?
Well, I haven't seen our health insurance cost increase yet. I think we're in the process of looking at changing our health insurance carrier for our employees. Right. The cost of living increase for our employees is, I believe, set at 4% currently. Right. So everything, the cost of everything that we do goes up just like it does individuals. My homeowner's insurance went up 33% this year. Mm-hmm. The county's insurance is going to go up.
Right.
Our costs go up just like everybody else does, and so but we do have some other sources of income too.
Y'all ain't spending no money on maintenance.
That's true, and we need to be spending more money on maintenance.
Yeah.
That's why we're in a situation we are with a lot of our county buildings right now.
I agree.
Because we haven't spent the money on maintenance in the past.
I go by Commercial Bank 3 or 4 times a day. This big old building y'all got up here. That's where you worked at as a president for 40 years, correct?
That's right. Built in 1926.
Right. And they are constantly. Matter of fact, there's something up there today working on that. What are they doing to that building?
There's some of the limestone at the top of the building has cracks in it, and when it rains and then freezes, that ice, that water freezes into ice, and then when it thaws out, it's cracked that limestone off.
That's the problem all over. Now, Scott, the building you're in down there's got a lot of issues with the county. I know that. I know it's none of your business, but there's nothing that concerns you, but it's a big deal down there. We've let these buildings go. It ain't now. It's been going on for 30 and 40 years. We have just kicked the can down the road, and we're in a position now where the buildings in Henry County that the county has to maintain and take care of is falling apart.
The county commission has approved trying to maintain these buildings going down the road.
Going forward.
We can't back up. We can't fix the annex building. We can't afford to fix Weston Hall. We can't fix the Grove Tower building. We're going to have to do a better job in the future of maintaining and putting more money into our budget for maintaining these buildings.
I agree. I mean, you can't. You don't do your personal house like it. How that's irrelevant is it's all funded predominantly. Now, I know there's some grants and all that. I'm not getting technical with you, out of what this property tax does.
Property tax and the local option sales tax are our two biggest revenue producers.
Right, that's right. For the city, I don't think the county gets none of that.
Well, the county gets what's generated in the county. 2.75% of the local is the local option of sales tax. What the businesses out in the county, we get to collect that tax.
Oh, y'all get the whole 2.75%?
Well, unless they're in the city of Puryear or the city of Henry.
Right. I understand that. But it all boils down to you collect the taxes from us. He sets the value. Randy, she collects the money, and we give it to y'all. And they give it to y'all. Leave me out of that. It's just my damn money. Y'all are collecting.
It's all in the county.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Randy's the county trustee. She collects the money.
She's
our tax collector.
I kept saying me. It ain't me, just my money. Y'all are doing it. And I got to trust that y'all are spending my money wisely.
Well, you do, and that's why you need to elect good county commissioners. I'm not saying that I am one, but we need good qualified people to run like you, Mike. We need you to run next time.
Well, that's a possibility. I've got some plans, but I'm not real smart. You know, you see my control room, y'all both, right?
Yes.
There's where all the smartness is back here in the back. All I do is sit there and dig the crap out of my eye live on the show and make Bubba think I'm flirting with him.
I was a good C student, Mike, so I'm not very smart either.
That's why we're friends. You know, getting back, I had to, you know, we haven't done a good job because the office year end's in terrible shape. It's been let go, and we're fixing to do something to repair all that. But that's probably not talking about the pie we're cooking now, but it's all about these taxes. We kind of went over with the public how it worked. The state of Tennessee helped the property assessor. Put that back up one more time, that last thing. Is there anything we missed on that? I want to bring that up.
Let's see. So one thing I will tell you, down there at the bottom,
right,
that's where you can go to the Tennessee Comptroller's website, okay? That will take you straight to how to calculate your tax bill. So once you know, and come July, we hope to have a certified rate. After that rate is set, you can go in there and you can calculate. There's also a video on there that you can watch on the Comptroller site. Tells you how to do it. Right. So you can take your numbers. Once you have a tax rate, you can take your value and you can go in there and calculate it yourself. Right.
Now, Bubba, is it not a state law that y'all have to in July have to vote in that $1.19? 1.1975. That's what the law says. Y'all have to vote in.
It says that we have to start there. We don't have to stay there. As I mentioned, there's a process. If we need to raise another penny or two on the tax rate, there's a process for us.
Well, y'all are going to get a little more money than what you had got this past year.
We're going to get a little more money.
Right.
Yes,
so I would hope that there's enough conservatism in that county commissioner that they say we can live with this.
There is, but like we talked about maintaining these buildings, we've got to put money in the budget to maintain our buildings.
That's right. We got to maintain. But you can't do it all at once. And everything's gone up to the public out there. You spoke a while ago. Not only has their value, their insurance is going up too. It already went up.
Well, that's part of the reason that people were so upset.
That's right.
And we get it. You know, we've had 3 and 4 years now of inflation, insurance. And unfortunately, this is cycled in at the last year. At the end, our value's going up on top of it. So but that has been a big piece of this. Is why people are upset.
And everybody seems, and not saying, I'm just going to say it, hell, I don't care. And everybody's wanting a piece of the pie when they keep saying everything. Well, Mike, everything's went up, everything's went up. It's got to stop. We're building us a society, not Henry County, but a country we can't even afford to live in for long. Everything's getting so high. It's crazy. I mean, I see some tickets on some of these car repairs. I don't know what we're going to do.
And the sticker price of these new automobiles
it's crazy.
On top of that.
And a set of tires. Who'd ever thought $150 oil change? Yeah. I see some of them, some of these European cars, $150 oil change. I mean, what the hell are we doing, folks? You know, everything keeps going up. Everything keeps going up. And when the assessment value of your house went up, well, guess what? The insurance company said, well, you know, your house worth more money. We got to go up. You know, and then we give it to the county commissioner. They say, well, we got to have more money because the asphalt's gone up. We got to give our employees a raise because their property taxes went up. Where in the hell does it stop? One of y'all tell me. How do we stop it?
It doesn't stop, Mike.
Till we go bankrupt?
It just keeps on going until we go bankrupt.
It's kind of like I said before, Social Security is the biggest pyramid ever put on humans.
Well, let's don't get onto that one.
No, but I'm just saying, are we running in the same pyramid now? But anyway, Scott, I understand what's going on. Anything else you want to nail with this?
I just want to remind everybody that, you know, what we've talked about, this is – the best way I can state it, you know, we had a market that was here.
Yeah.
Everybody is now up here.
Right.
But our tax rate was up here. Yeah. Now it's going to be down here.
Right.
I mean, you got to think if we drop a tax rate of 70 to 73 cents, it takes a long time to get that back up.
Yeah.
So we got to keep that in mind. I mean, and David could speak more to this. I know he hasn't been on the commission in a long time, but historically, Henry County our tax rate has been low compared to our surrounding counties.
Very low.
But look at what it's got us. It's got us where we got to build buildings, we got maintenance falling in, and we got to do it all at once. Where I believe, in my way of looking at things, Spend a nickel now, save $1 down the road. Maintenance on your car. It don't make a damn if you're making potato chips or computer chips. Maintenance is maintenance. We didn't do no maintenance. Now we're going to spend $15, $20 million, build new buildings, or we're going to take existing buildings, which I'm all for, taking existing buildings, revamping them, putting them out there, instead of adding more buildings to our inventory that we can't keep up now. You know, maybe I shouldn't even talk about that tonight, but that's what I think. I don't want to build new. I want to take what we got, repair, revamp, and use it. We're going to add to our fleet that we can't even keep up now. That's where I'm at.
Well, do you want to give you some breaking news on that front?
You got some?
We just came from the county commission meeting at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The county commission voted to build a new government administrative office building out on Highway 79 south, across from the driver's license.
We own that driver's license. No, the one right beside it.
We own the Tennessee Rehabilitation Center.
I thought they was working on maybe taking that one and revamping it.
We talked about that, and we are going to use that building. Okay. We're going to put the election commission's office there and the archives office there that is currently in Weston Hall at Grove, where the roof's leaking and the walls have separated from the roof, and we've got to get our folks out of there too.
Right.
So they're going to go into that building.
Right.
And then we voted to build this new building, and the trustee's office, the Scott's office, the assessor's office, the register of deeds office, the county clerk's office, the mayor's office is going to all move into this new Henry County Government Administration building.
That's going to be out there about where the city hall and all that new city property is going to be.
We're closer to town. We're right next door to the new convenience store that's there. The new city fire department is going down on the other end next to Spruce Street.
Right.
They bought 10 acres. I believe it's 10 acres down there.
Right.
That's a city
so
project.
What's that going to cost us to build this, the county to build this?
They're projecting $7.8 million.
Well, that's not
19,000 square foot building, brick front, flat roof.
Oh, we're going to build brick with a flat roof.
Yes.
What the hell?
That's the way it's been designed.
I'm just glad David has to deal with that. That's out of my wheelhouse.
A flat roof
I'll stay in
with
my
a brick
lane
building. When I just talked about the brick you're having to work on over at your bank.
I think it's just a brick facade. I don't know if the brick goes all the way around it or not.
I haven't
seen the drawing on
and
the
a
back
flat
side.
roof?
Flat roof.
Why would anybody build a flat roof in 2025? That is crazy.
I'm not an architect.
I ain't neither, but I know enough to know you don't build flat roofs. I'm done with them.
We've had a lot of discussion about that. And,
well, go ahead. We'll
there's
be spending more money just like they do every time they put a pitch. Anyway, that's a different story. I need to get you and the commissioners on here. We'll do a show about that.
All right, we'll gather up 4 or 5 of us. We'll have a good old-fashioned debate.
Let's have a good old-fashioned debate, and I'll tell you how it's done from the poor folks' side of town.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to be an architect to decide that you don't want a flat roof building. They leak 100%. I've got one on my shop that it cost the hell out of me to do. You're letting a flat roof building. They ain't built flat roofs in 100 years. What are we doing?
Well, I'll give you a little more of that story.
You don't make me mad.
They're putting the heat and air conditioning units
on the roof. That's where to put them. Yeah, that way they fall in when the damn roof leaks and the hole gets in it. Who's designing this building?
TLM out of Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay.
They've done quite a bit of architectural work in Henry County.
But have y'all not got a little say-so about putting a little pitch on that roof where you ain't got to worry about it leaking down the road?
We sure do. It'll just run the cost up.
Okay. Well, we're already going to spend $7 million. It can't be much more.
I don't know. I hadn't seen anything about that.
Scott, I'm sorry. We got off subject, didn't we?
That's okay.
We'll get Marty
I'm
Visser
just sitting
on
over
here.
Like I say, I'll mind my own business over here.
You're getting a new building with a flat roof.
I'll go where I'll move whenever.
And I'm
going to
call you in about 5 years and ask you how many buckets you got sitting there catching the rainwater.
We'll probably have several.
I'm sure you will.
We'll get Marty Visser. He's the chairman of the Buildings and Grounds
Get
Committee.
him in here. I want him to explain to me.
Get him on this show, and he can talk to you about that.
Okay.
I haven't had any interaction with her.
I understand. I'd like to find out if we're going to build a building and we're going to spend $7.5–8 million. What's another couple $100,000? Put a pitch roof on that thing where you ain't got to worry about it leaking 5, 6, 7 years down the road.
That was.
Am I crazy?
No, it was mentioned.
It
was another county commissioner.
Okay, and what was the answer?
This is the way they designed it.
Scott, I appreciate it, man. It's about time to get out of here. I think we've gone far enough on that one. That's not even what my story's about. My show's about tonight. My show's about everything, but it was about helping you get the word out of what's going on and tell everybody the sky's not falling. I mean, it kind of clouded up. It might have rained a little bit, but it didn't fall.
It did not fall. We're going to survive.
We are.
We had,
if we can get this commissioner on our side, these commissioners on our side, we'll survive.
We're on your side. We're all in this together.
Okay.
So that's the biggest thing I want everybody to know. Sky is not falling.
Right.
We are not. You're not going to. I don't think anybody's going to lose their property because they can't pay their tax.
God, let's hope not.
That's exactly right, because nobody wants that. I would like to remind everybody that I am also a property owner in Henry County. So I have also gone through this, and I certainly don't like it. However, it's not the end of the world.
No.
It's not, that you're not going to pay the same amount, the same percentage in tax bill as you are going to pay on your percentage property increase. That's what everybody needs to remember.
I'll step out on the line. Y'all guys can't because, but I'm going to say the average working man, now I know there's a difference. If you own a $1 million house, you're going to pay more taxes. If you're watching the show tonight and you're million, but I'm talking about my people, the average working man that gets up every day, grinds to work, grinds himself home, pops a top and drinks a beer, fusses at the TV, goes to bed, gets up and does it again. That kind of people, I figure you're going to pay $100 more, maybe $150. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But my numbers are showing me that you're going from 100, the assessed value. I'm going to stick with it. And what you just showed wasn't far from what I said.
Right.
What you're
right.
But I know you can't say that, but I think it's going to be that way. But if you own a big fancy house, or you got some high dollar commercial buildings, you're probably going to pay a little more. And I have some commercial buildings, so I'll probably have to pay a little more on. But usually, anybody that buys and sells property used to, I don't know about right now, but they used to would buy any piece of property for the appraised value. And there was always meat left on the bones. I don't know if this new evaluation has changed that because it's just come out, but I don't think I would take what my house appraised for, because number one, I'd have to buy something comparable to it. It's going to be the same price, so there's no money left. But you understand what I'm saying? If you look at the tax card, when you was buying and selling houses and stuff, you looked at tax card, it's priced for $160. They're wanting $120 for it. Right opposite. It's priced for I would pay what the tax card said, because there's money left. Is it still going to be that way? It'll take a year or two to find out what the market does.
It will.
I don't know if the market's slowing down in Henry County. I hear there's no inventory. I think there's still people. I think there's more buyers than there are sellers. I don't recommend it right now.
Well, that's one of the things I will tell everybody. The deeds coming through. Looked at them. We're seeing some higher sales right now than what we were in 24.
That's right.
And that's the thing.
That's going to do it again.
We're already higher. We had one in West Parish sale about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it sold for more than we've got on it.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd see that value, that sales price on that house.
Yeah.
But it's still happening.
Yeah. It's going to happen. Farmland, if you already got a bunch of acres of farmland and there's farm, you can pay a little more for it. I don't think you can borrow money and go out and buy farmland at $7,000 an acre, $1 million tractors and combine. No, you can't borrow money and go into farming. Them days are gone. You wouldn't. If at the bank, you wouldn't.
No, that's true. These established farmers can do it, but me, for instance, my son, I couldn't put him in the farming business.
No, you couldn't. Nobody can do that no more, and that's why they're paying this high dollar. Because if you're making a couple $100 an acre at the end of the year, when you get your crops in and out, and you got a 1,000-acre farm, you're making a couple $100 an acre profit. Man, I could make more money if I had more land. So you go out, and you already got your land. You got to have paid for farmland to pay this $6,000-7,000.
That's right.
You can't go out and borrow it. Housing, remember, if you sell your house and you want to buy another one, you're going to have to pay those exorbitant prices too. Replacement value is way up there. It's not like I'm going to sell my house for $500,000. It's worth $200,000. I sell it for $500,000. I'm going to buy me a $100,000 house. Well, no, you're not going to buy a $100,000 house. You're going to buy a $200,000 house. You're going to overpay. And there is some sticker shock. I'm seeing some come through my shop. They're having buyer's remorse. They realize they pay a little much, but what do they do? What do you do? Anything you want to say before I let you go?
No, I appreciate you having me
thank
on
you,
again.
Man. Yeah, I appreciate you. I told you, door's already open.
I hope we've done a good job of informing everybody again.
Anybody got any questions? We put the phone.
Looking to do.
We put the phone line up. Put it up one more time. The phone number. Nobody wants to call in. Here's your chance. Call in. I got Scott right here. I got your county commissioner sitting right over here. Now's the time to call if you want to. Put a question out there. We'll talk to you. Hell, just talk to me. I don't care. I'll tell you what I think. I done got it out of my eyes. I am back to looking. Now I can see. But, like I said, it ain't Scott's fault. Scott didn't do this. The state of Tennessee did it. Scott's just got to play the hand that he's dealt. He's new at his job. He's not been there long. He running, knowing this was going to happen when he was running for office. We talked about it when I had him and his competitor in here. Did you say something in my ear? Okay. And so he knew it was coming. It hit us probably more than I was expecting. I was expecting not quite be so high, but, it hit us real hard. And we know all that's coming, and it is what it is. I don't think you're going to double your taxes. I think the average person will pay the same, a little less in some cases, but the average working man might pay $100, $150 more a year, maybe $150. They don't say, but I say that's right. Now I got to get the county commissioners on here. We got to talk about this new $8 million building we're building. And now, since they know they can play with this tax rate, I may be wrong with $100 a year extra. I don't know.
I hope you're not.
We got a caller on the line. Okay. Who we got? I got a commissioner on the line. All right, put him on there. Who is he? Hello. Who we got?
You got Commissioner Ralph White.
Well, how you doing, Ralph?
I'm doing great.
Well, what do you want to
How
add?
are y'all?
We're doing wonderful. What do you want to add to it? I hear a feedback somewhere.
Yeah. I'll turn this down.
Yeah, do that.
Well, hang on a minute.
All right.
Let me turn this down here. I got her down.
All right. Now go ahead.
I agree with you 100% on these buildings. We don't need a $8 million complex. We need to renovate what we got.
Okay.
We've done had a architect per se look at this, and we're talking $4 million to renovate the TRC building and get most of our people in there.
Okay.
Then we can renovate the health department as soon as we get it freed up, and put some more of our people in there. So I wholeheartedly do not agree with this. I got a word for it, but I'm not going to say it here. But I disagree with what they're doing over there. I agree with you. We got buildings. We need to utilize them. Save our people money.
I have to agree with you on that. I think I need to have a show about that sometime. If I can get you're a commissioner with Bubba, you're a commissioner. You want to talk to some of them guys?
Sure. Yeah, we'll talk to them. We'll get as many of them as you want on here.
Yeah, I got room for 4 of y'all. We'll get them on here. We'll just have a debate about it. And I think the public needs to hear that. I'm not trying to stir up trouble, but I'd rather the public know now until after it's over. What do you agree?
I agree with that. I think full disclosure up front, the more people know about what's going on, especially in government, they can have more input.
That's right.
We need input from citizens.
Right.
That's we're here to represent the citizens, and we need to know what they're thinking.
I agree. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with what he said, Ralph?
100%.
Okay, well, y'all get it together, and I'll do a show on it. Scott, you may not want to be in on that one.
I won't be here.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Well, Ralph, I appreciate you calling in, my friend.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. That was Commissioner Ralph Wiles. He's one of y'all's commissioners. He just at the meeting with y'all.
He is. He represents District 2.
Okay.
I represent District 1. He's
That's
in
right.
2.
That's right. That's good. That's great. That's great. It's like I said, I don't want to cause trouble, and I'm not, but I want the public to know what's going on out there. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's not anything wrong with that, but I want to emphasize we voted tonight to move ahead with this new building.
Right. It's too late for that then. I understand that. Okay. Well, that's a different show. I don't want to take away from Scott what I got you in here for.
I appreciate you having me again. I mean, I want to emphasize to everybody that as we continue through this process, that Board of Equalization, make sure if you are going to get on that schedule, you can start calling my office, and we can get you scheduled.
Great.
That's what we want to do.
Right.
We want everybody to have the opportunity.
Sure.
If you truly have something going on,
there could be a mistake.
We want to make sure
it could be a mistake. You're opening the door to them. You're telling them, here's what to do if you think it's wrong. It doesn't hurt just go down there and talk to Scott.
That's right.
Just come down there and get an appointment. Say, Scott, is this
that's the
right?
Number one thing is we are here. We're your local person.
That's right.
That's here. We're not the state. The state was at my office the first week of informal hearings helping us.
You're not the bad guy.
We had to have them. I mean, they sent 3 people up here.
Yeah.
But they're not the local person, So if we can help you, please come talk to us.
What I'm trying to say is Scott and his crew is not the bad guys, folks.
We're not.
They're not the bad guys. They dealt this hand of cards that come through the state, and it's possible, and it's more than likely there's been some mistakes made. If you think it's not been made, I don't know what planet you're living on, but I guarantee you there's been some mistakes. He's probably found some mistakes. There's going to be mistakes, and maybe yours is one of them. Call him, set up an appointment, let him look at it, him and his crew look it over and find out he's not the bad guy. He's there to help you. And see if we can get through this. We're going to get through it. It's not the end of the world. Go ahead, Bubba.
Just tell them where you're located and your phone number, Scott.
That's right.
So we're at 213 West Washington, down at the courthouse annex. You can reach us at 731-642-0162. So calls will come in. We're 8 to 4:30.
8 to 4:30.
8 to 4:30. So we're there
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And unless you can get that fixed, we'd love to work.
Hell no, that's one thing. Work 5 days a week. I have to. Damn, that kills me.
We're gonna be there. That's
Jesus
right.
Christ, that's another problem.
I just had to bring that up.
Oh Lord Almighty. Well, Bubba, I appreciate you coming in. Why did you bring me bad news for? I don't know if it's bad news. I don't know if it's bad news or not. I can't say that. I don't know, but I will talk to you after the show. We got to do something. We all agree. We've let this stuff go too long. We kicked the can down the road. You can't even tell what kind of can it is anymore. It's been kicked so long.
That's right.
But we got to fix these problems. I know you're new, and a lot of them commissioners are new, and a lot of them has not made this problem. And I'm not knocking them. I'm not by no means knocking any commissioners. They're doing a hell of a job with what they got to work with. But we got to make sure we got to find out what got us in the shape we're in with these buildings and make sure it don't happen again.
And I appreciate these commissioners serving, like Marty mentioned on the buildings and ground. They put a lot of effort, a lot of time.
They have.
They've been meeting endlessly on this stuff.
That's right.
I appreciate what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Might not agree with them always, but I still appreciate what they're doing.
Hey, me and you don't agree always. Scott, you and I don't agree always, but I did a show here a while back. Y'all need to watch it. Go back and find it where I had I can call him I don't call him far left. And I don't call myself far right. Would you? I don't think I'm not.
No.
Yeah, I'm kind of middle of the road type guy.
Maybe 60%.
That's right. We got another commissioner on the line. Go ahead.
Again, Mark.
Who we got on the line?
Yeah, Commissioner Visser here. How are y'all doing tonight?
Hey, how you doing, Visser? We done had a call in from another commissioner. Ralph Wiles just called in.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I've been listening into your show a little bit.
Well, great. I appreciate it.
Well, yeah, and I'd love to get on your show and debate or talk about these county buildings.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, because they are in terrible shape.
Well, sure they are. We are. They're horrible. And you didn't make the problem. Let me get that perfectly straight. I don't know if you heard me or not. I'm not blaming y'all commissioners. It's been going on for 30, 40 years. These buildings have been let go that long, and like my daddy always said, if you're going to dash the music, somebody got to pay the band, and that's what we're having to do now, pay the band.
Absolutely. And some of these buildings that we've moved into are non-repairable. That's the issue. So, we could talk about repairing some buildings that we had. Well, we moved into them, and they weren't repairable to start with.
Right. Oh,
so
yeah,
we got a plan. We've got a plan.
Well, y'all, I'll tell you what I want you to do, Marty. I want you to get with Bubba, and you get a couple of y'all in here. And I'm not the one to debate you because I don't know all the answers. Y'all got the advantage over me. I'll just ask you questions that the average people want to know. Because I'm not real smart. I'm not real smart.
No, I don't believe that.
Yeah, I'm not real smart. Trust me, I got a smart crew in the back. Keeps me up to date. But I would like to have y'all guys come on and explain what's going on. And let's talk about this flat damn roof.
I got you.
We need to talk about a flat roof. Anybody knows you don't build flat roofs. When you do, go ahead and buy some mop buckets because they're going to need them.
Well, we buy a couple more acres and we can put the units on that, but we're limited for space out there.
Well, we can find somewhere to put the damn air conditioning dealings and get them and get a pitch roof on this thing, so we ain't got to fight. Where my grandkids, Marty and my grandkid and your grandkids ain't going through the same battle we're going through now about fixing up these buildings when we're sitting here knowing that's not the right thing to do.
Well, that's why we have the plan we have is to build some new, to be out of this, so our grandkids, like you said, do not have to worry about.
That's exactly right. But I want you to get with Bubba if you'll do that for me. And I appreciate you calling in. And like I said, I have not beat y'all up. This is about property taxes, but Bubba throwed that to me.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I wanted everybody to understand what's going on. Once the tax dollars are collected, once that the property assessor has evaluated the property, and once it gets to the trustee, and once it gets to the county commissioners, I believe it's been spent fairly. I think y'all do a hell of a job up there. I'm not saying you don't. Do I agree to everything? No, I'm not going to agree to everything. Would I change some things? Well, sure, I would change a lot of things, but I'm not a commissioner. But I do want y'all to come on there and explain to a dumb guy from Hico like me. I'm an auto mechanic. We don't know a lot. So get on here and explain all that to me. Would you do that for me?
Absolutely.
You work it out with Bubba. And
absolutely. Well, can I say one more thing?
You sure can, brother. Say what you say, man.
You had a great show, and you got two smart fellas right there in front of you.
That's right.
The tax rate. I really do not see the county commission bucking that certified tax rate. I just don't see that happening.
Neither.
I don't think it ever has happened. We have a pretty healthy fund balance. Rainy day.
Right.
We're supposed to keep some back. So last year we did that. We used we raised the tax only 4 pennies.
Right.
And used some of the fund balance for that reason. So if we do need more money for different things this year, I think we could dip into our fund balance if we have to. But
that's right.
But
we'll talk
about you got two smart ones.
That's good. It is. They're explaining everything. I think Assessor Morrison has done a good job explaining it. I think that everybody will understand it. And I try to tell everybody he's not the bad guy.
No,
he's there to help you. I'm the bad guy. Hell, I'll take it. I'll wear that hat. I got a black hat on. What the hell? Marty, I appreciate you, brother. Hey, holler at me, dude.
Have a good night.
Thank you, man.
Have a good night.
All right. There you go. That's another commissioner called in with you. So
might be a wild show.
Hey, buddy, I like them wild.
Get Ralph on here and Marty. And
oh, my God.
We'll take the gloves off.
I'll let them go. Let them have at it. I mean, I'm glad they're watching. I'm glad they're watching. And like I said before, I got nothing against that. Do I have my opinion? Well, sure, and I'm going to give you my opinion. You know me forever. I'm going to give you my opinion, ask for it or not. But Scott, you did a good job.
Well, thank you.
Doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
I want to tell everybody you're not the bad guy. The door's open. If you think it's out of kilter, as my dad used to say, go down there and talk to you. And he'll tell you every process. If you don't agree with him, there's another process. You don't agree with them, there's one more.
Right.
There's steps to it, but you don't have to go that far. Go with Scott. Scott explain it to you. He'll tell you what's going on. He'll tell you how it works. And I think anybody that's been in his office can tell you the same thing. They know what they're doing. They'll explain it to you. They'll make it make sense. Might not agree 100%, but you'll understand what's going on.
That's our goal. We're your local person to help with this. That's what we're there for.
You got to pay taxes too.
That's right. That's right. We're there to help.
Well, David, I think I done stirred up something about that.
I think you have too. We'll just have to follow through on it.
We'll do it. All you got to do is tell me. I'm always open. Scott, I appreciate it. I'm going to let you go. I know
Thank
you got to get home, get ready, get it work more so we can pay these damn property taxes.
Thank you.
Man, I appreciate it, brother.
Yes, sir.
Bubba. Appreciate you coming in, my friend.
Always. I've been on here a couple of times before. I don't mind it.
I know. What's you on there? You was on there for Kiwanis Club.
Helping Hand one time, and I don't remember I know it's 2 other times.
Kiwanis Club, wasn't it?
No, Rotary Club.
Rotary Club, he's on there. Yeah.
I'll come back and talk about Rotary Club anytime, or the food bank. I'm on the food bank board.
Right,
too, so
right.
There's lots of things I can
talk
about.
I've got you and Visser nailed down to come in and talk about. I don't know. We may have to carry this damn show to the courthouse with all the people that wants to come on. How many commissioners are there up there now?
There's 15 commissioners, 3 from each district.
Well, I don't know where in the hell we'll put them on. You think they all want to come?
No.
Okay.
I do not.
All right, Bubba, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
Scott. Anything else you want to say?
No,
Make sure I give you all
I appreciate the opportunity
Thank
to
you,
get
brother.
the
You know
word
my
out.
door is always open.
I do, and I appreciate
Yes.
I appreciate what you've done here, giving
Yes,
us a
yes.
platform
Yes, sir.
to
We
get
need
the
it.
information out. Thank you.
That's all this show's about. It's your go-to place for all the things we all want to know about, and that's very important. I live in this community, and we're all in this old world together. Believe it or not, we're in this world together. Nobody's immune.
That's right.
And I think somebody needs to step up and let the public know what's going on. And, I'm not against none of the commissioners. I just let y'all tell it like it is. And Scott, you've done a hell of a job. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. I worried about you back in February.
I appreciate that.
I could tell you were struggling.
Yeah.
You was worried, struggling, new at the job.
Yeah.
And here they throwed you to the wolves, son.
It's been a lot going on. It's been a lot going on.
It has, man. But you did a good job. It's going to get all right. Like I said, everybody got worried there when it first got to them papers, but the sky's not falling. Okay, folks, there you go. We've been talking with Scott Morrison. He's a Henry County property assessor. And David Flyers, Bubba Flyers, he is one of the county commissioners. And we've been discussing the property taxes, and Bubba's been telling us some stuff that went on at the county commissioner meeting he had tonight. So there you go. We found out a lot of things that's going on, and I think we got another show coming off of what we done tonight. It was a property assessor show, and we done that. We done that. But I wanted a commissioner here because it goes hand in hand with the property assessor. They end up with the money, and I wanted to make sure they understood that their tax rate's going to drop. Make sure they're spending it wisely because I'm looking out for you, the people out there. So there you go, folks. Tune in next week. We've got a good show coming up. I've got Ask Me Anything with investigative reporter Burton Stagg. We're going to talk a little bit about everything going on across the state and all these unsolved. There's more and more of this. I don't know if it's just because of social media is getting it out there, but there's more and more unsolved crimes and missings and murders. I don't know. I'm going to find out if there's more of it or we're just hearing about more of it. Anyway, tune in next week right here on the Mike Weatherford Show. We're going to be talking with Burton Stagg. Going to get some updates on some of these major cases going across the state, and you don't want to miss that show. Tune in. And also, don't forget, we got Sportscast Live with Jeremy Buckaloo. It's every Sunday at 7:30. This Raymer boy right here, I think he works for Dr. Heather Ghoulish. And he's a real good guy. You'll enjoy this show. Devin Raymer is going to be on the show. This guy's really sharp. Matter of fact, he's done some procedures out there for me. He's a real sharp guy. Tune in this show coming up Sunday, June the 1st, Sportscast with Jeremy Bucklow. And I highly recommend, because he's over on his own. He was running right here on the Mike Weatherford Show every Sunday night, but he's got his own thing fired up and going now. But we may simulcast it a couple more times on my platform too, just so everybody knows where he's at. Go to Sportscast with Jeremy Bucklow. Follow him so you keep up with all the sports going on across the county, the state, and the nation. He's got everything from pro football player. We've even got some NASCAR guys coming in. So you don't want to miss this right here coming up with Sportscast with Jeremy Bucklow every Sunday, 7:30. And what else we got? The Tennessee Informer, don't forget it's coming up. The Warrior Defense Project. It's Monday, June the 2nd, 7 p.m. It's on Facebook, and it's also on YouTube. So find him, watch it, keep up with all that's going on across the state with our friends at the Tennessee Informer. Don't forget this coming up live. It's going to be Thursday, June the 5th, 7 p.m. at the Puryear Convention Center. Junior Stags Live, Episode 3 with John Langford and Jason Ray. Is going to be in downtown Puryear. It's going to be a good music event, songwriters night, I call it, and it's free. All you got to do is bring you a cheer. That's coming up June the 5th, 7 p.m., downtown Puryear. The boys are back in town. All right, folks, there you go. We had a good show tonight. I want to thank all my guys in the back. The ones in the back that's real smart is Kevin Chester Keel, Scott Norwood, Billy Busey, and Dana Allen. I got to quit calling him Chester because he's been hopping around. He had a problem with his leg, and I've been picking at him because we're real close friends. We're almost like brothers, and I call him Chester off Gunsmoke. He's hopping like that, so he's getting better. He's back to being just Kevin Keel. He's the producer of this show, and he produces all them other shows I was showing you. He's been under the weather a little bit. We've been praying for him. And I think he's getting better now, but he's not 100% yet. But he's not limping as bad. He don't look like, remember old Chester off Gunsmoke? He don't look like that no more. He just looks like Festus now, what he looks like. But anyway, we love you, Kevin. I want to appreciate everybody in the back because they the ones that do all the hard work. I sit up here in the front and just talk and piss people off. That's my job, and say what the hell every once in a while. But, it's been a good show. We've learned a lot. That's what I want to do is bring to you, the viewer, what's going on at the property assessor's office. And I want to bring a county commissioner in here to let him explain to you what happens once all that assessing's been going on, all the money been collected, it goes down. They're the one that spends it. And we got a spinoff show. It sounds like commissioners are calling in. They want to talk about this stuff. So, yeah, hell, we'll talk about it. I don't care. I'll talk about a stop sign. But anyway, tune in. And I want to thank you, my viewer. And I want to thank my sponsor. Without y'all guys, I couldn't do what I do. So tune in every week, same time, same place. And like I always say, don't be late.
The Mike Weatherford Show is recorded live in the Brewer Street Mafia Studios, downtown Paris. A Kill Media, Brewer Street Mafia production.